one of my biggest takeaways from the last few days, honestly, was how many people we talked to from around the NBA in terms of not just media, but people with other teams who we had conversations with who were like, dude, Keegan Murray? Like, we got a lot of like, dude, this guy. I mean, I had one assistant coach tell me he had a conversation with a longtime scout who's been around forever, who's like, oh, this guy's a franchise guy. And that's one person, but in other conversations, I mean, even Kevin, we had a chance to hang out and chat with Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, and he was really, really praising what he saw in Keegan Murray. So, everyone, Kings fans for a long time have always joked about, man, national media hates us and blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of people that we've talked to are really encouraged by some of the moves the Kings made, but in addition to that, what they saw from Keegan.
Yeah, and if you want to hear what Kevin O'Connor did have to say too about Keegan, I was listening. That's what I was listening to on the plane before the guy started talking about smoke, and it was from Sunday. He talks a little bit about the Kings and Keegan Murray, and it's fun hearing that nationally, and it's fun hearing that from not only, like you said, players we heard it from, there's national media, but then another guy we know that we talked to is Jordan with Swish Cultures. And we're in this media scrum and Jordan's right there and he looks at me and goes, you guys got a guy. And that's someone who, we respect highly with the way that he breaks down players' games all the time. And he was like breaking down Keegan's game to me right there. I'm like, am I watching a Swish Cultures video in person? This is amazing. So yeah, the feedback about Keegan is great.
Do you like the Slim Duncan nickname? Are you on board with Slim Duncan?
I get it, you guys. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, can we just like organically let something come? Like Slim Duncan's a little bit too much. And I think it puts a little bit too much pressure on him. Yeah. But hey, he's that vibe. He's that even keel, cool guy, composed. But then it's just so talented and can do so many different things on the floor. Are we talking about him right now? Because I'm ready to talk about something with Keegan Murray.
Yeah, we have a ton to go over. So we can start with Keegan. And we had the chance to see him in that first game against Orlando and then the next day against Indiana. And that Orlando game, I'm sure a lot of you guys watched it on TV. I'm also sure that there's some Kings fans who are like, hey, I'm not that hardcore where I'm sitting down and watching Summer League games. And that's okay. We watch them so you don't have to if you don't want to. The vibe in the building, and that's, I think, the other thing about Summer League. I've gone multiple times to Summer League. It's probably my 5th time in Summer League. It's been a couple years, though.
Such a pro.
And it's jumped out to me how much it's grown. Dude, that place... The atmosphere late in the game.
Popping.
All right, so, the Kings are down 6 with, 7 seconds to go on the end. It was like 7.4 when they inbounded. Kata hitting the 3.
Oh,
I'm just like, are you kidding me? Then Ade Murphy steals Keegan. Unbelievable shot. Like, the pump, sidestep, confidence. Did not hesitate. He could have thrown it to someone else. Takes the shot, buries it. The vibe in the gym, I have chills talking about it. And I know you're like, chills for a Summer League game? No. If you were there, you had chills because there was a shock in the building, unlike anything.
So I put on Instagram, like one of the best like NBA Summer League finishes ever. And this one guy, I'm tired at this point, and this one guy just starts shitting on it. And so I just go off on him. I say, calm down. And he's like, touche. Like, he heard it. Like, I'm like, dude, let people be excited about these games. I don't care if it's an NBA Summer League game. I don't care if it's on the blacktop. If I'm watching my guys play and they're playing like that, I'm going to get excited. It's fun basketball.
And then in the overtime session, like late in overtime, and then when it went to sudden death.
Yeah.
Which was a good gimmick for Summer League. I love it. When Paulo was bringing up the damn ball, and Keegan was guarding him, everyone on their feet. And this is not like, hey, that's why I'm getting chills from it. I know this is ridiculous. I am. I get chills talking about it because it's not like that building was, 10,000 Kings fans or 10,000 Orlando fans. This was basketball purists, NBA fans in the building appreciating what they're seeing from two young guys, what Banchero was doing. We'll talk about that too. It was that game was so fun. But Keegan, I love this guy. I do. And like, it's going to be fun to see him develop. And I think one of the things I'm really encouraged by is I feel like he's going to be able to fit in and contribute right away.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here today acting as if he's going to average 20 and 8 as a starter with the Kings next year.
Sure.
But I think he's a guy that you go, oh, he could definitely start, and he's definitely going to impact things because he can score at every level. He could finish left. He could finish right. His mid-range, getting threes.
Yeah.
His handle has to get better for sure. I mean, but again.
You guys, yeah. We're
what
like,
jumps out to you?
We can get nitpicking everything about all that. But you know what is interesting? Because when Keegan was first drafted, I was part of the crew that was more like, he doesn't have to start. We don't have to put those expectations on him. I know he's a top 5 pick, but like sometimes you just don't know what exactly you're going to get. I had only, again, not a college hoops junkie, so I'm only watching Keegan for 2 months before the draft and seeing full games and everything, but obviously this is going up against college competition. Iowa didn't even have a true point guard to get it to him at times. There's so many things that factor in. And so when I'm watching him in these games, which a lot of these G League players were going to be able to see and call next year in Stockton, it's a different type of competition, right? It's still not NBA guys, those big bodies, but still it's a different type of competition. And the way that he controlled that competition and the way that he played with so much confidence, so composed, like not only did he look like, yeah, I'm going to be good, but he looked like one of the best players out there. And to me, it wasn't just like a fluke. Even when he had some of those bad games, like I think that second game when the California Classic,
got to a slow start.
and then a slow start
and
that
against Indiana the other day. Yeah.
And even in those times, there was things I was still noticing about him. The nose for the ball, right? The way that he would go after rebounds and try to slap it out, go for it, be aggressive.
And that's something we were sitting next to each other at that Pacers game, and we kept looking at the box score. I'm like, wait, he's got 20? You're like, he finds a way, even if he wasn't shooting. He got off to kind of a slow start shooting in that game, and then he didn't rebound well in the box score.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when I kept looking at the rebounding numbers because he has rebounded quite well. He does such a good job at getting his hand on the ball. Even if he doesn't get the rebound, he tips the ball out a lot. He always is getting a hand on the rebound, which, again, you're not going to see that on the box score.
No.
But he has a nose for the ball, like you said.
A feel for the game, Deuce. That's really what I felt whenever I was watching him out there. And I think that's what a lot of other people are seeing with Keegan Murray, and that's why he's being talked about differently because, look, you see he has a feel for the game with the way he goes after rebounds. But not only that, let's say even on that one of those final shots in that Orlando game, when he got it, he punk faked the guys. Both guys go flying. I think Paulo was one of those guys that was like, fell for the pump fake. Boom, just so composed, slow, playing with his own pace so confidently because he can play at his own pace and people have to follow it. And I love that about him. But the way that also we were talking with Mark Jones and Jordy Fernandez before that second game a little bit about Keegan Murray and the way that he would step into a shot, right? Just understanding the timing of juking out his guy, the timing of coming off a screen correctly and going into a shot with his footwork just perfectly. It's so exciting. It's so fundamental. It's just a beautiful performance from Keegan Murray.
He shoots it with confidence. He's not going to pass up an open shot. And I think that's really encouraging. I even think defensively against Banchero, and Banchero got him a couple times. Well, Banchero is an absolute stud. That guy, you go, oh yeah, he's the number 1 pick for a reason.
Bigger than I even thought he was.
Oh, tremendous size. But I thought Murray did some nice stuff on him defensively to make his life a little more challenging. And that's what you, as a defensive player in this league, like, you're going to get, these guys are there's so much talent in the league. A guy like Banchero is going to get his shot. He's going to score on you.
Right.
It's just, can you make it a little more challenging? And I thought Keegan did that more times than not, which that jumped out to me big time.
I thought the way that he could stay with him even on the outside, right? How many times have we talked about, hey, he's more of a 4-3, because how is he going to stay with a lot of those wings, especially in the NBA? Well, the way that he stayed with Paolo at times, just when Paolo was even on the outside, I was impressed. He made him work. He made life a little bit harder, was able to move laterally, which I wasn't expecting at such a high level.
I took some notes, too, about late in that Pacers game because, again, it's like kind of the slow start, and we talked to him after the game, and he was saying that sometimes he likes to like get a feel for the game first, like he kind of reads the situation. And in that Pacers game, kind of a slow start, but then again finishing strong. There was a sequence where he down the stretch he was spectacular. He had a jab step back 3 bucket, then he sets a go screen. gets the ball, attacks, finishes with the right, and again, can finish with either side. And then he had that play off ball where he's cutting and almost jammed it. He put it in and one. He showed a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Attacking, off ball movement, the three, even in the mid range. I think offensively, he's really strong. Tightening up the handle, I think, is important. I think a couple times, like him trying to make something happen where, especially in that Orlando game, I think he went like behind the back and it went off his foot.
Soft dribble, right? Like he just needs to dribble with authority, pound the ball. Like once he gets that down a little bit more, he'll be able to even create more than what he's already doing.
I mean, he's been one of the best players in Summer League. And if you go back to California Classic, the Kings have played 5 games and they did that in a 9-game stretch.